Say, here's something I can read. Pretty well, anyway. It's in Latin. Forever glory, the and power, the and kingdom, the is, thou, thine. The is thine, kingdom, the is thine.
Hey, wait a minute. Don't read anymore. I know what that is. That's the Lord's Prayer backwards. That's the Lord's Prayer backwards. That's the Lord's Prayer backwards.
Hello, and welcome to Bronze Age Monsters. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
I'm Jacob Balcom.
Thanks for joining us this week, listeners. This is our second episode, and we're still not in the Star's book yet because he hasn't got his own book. I want to thank folks who checked out the first episode. We got lots of interaction with folks, and that's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. People seem to like the rebrand, and we were hoping everyone would follow us over, and it seems like most people have, which makes me happy.
I think we picked up some people actually.
Yeah, weird, right? Well, that's why we wanted to do this. You know, as much as we loved Jack Russell and Manwolf, it was pretty niche content, yeah. And now we have expanded. And so, yeah, I think we'll have new folks joining us as we change our content every season.
Yep. Also, we picked up some folks on our Discord server, which I love because I feel like it's a snowball rolling down a hill, and we're just finding some clean new snow to embiggen our whole thing. So, thanks to those folks that joined us. I will be throwing in another invite in the show notes for this episode. So, if you just want to hang out and talk about movies, comics, books, cocktails, all that jazz, or watch along the Satan movies with us for the bonus show, all that stuff you can do in the Discord. So look in the show notes and join us. We'd love to have you there.
And I thought I would just mention, if you are listening and you do like the show, you liked Werewolf by Night podcast, you're digging Bronze Age Monsters, feel free to leave us a review. If you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, you can take a screenshot of it and email it to us, and I will send you a pack of buttons. Not Werewolf by Night buttons now, but Son of Satan buttons. And those are buttons made from an actual Son of Satan comic book.
Will you take pictures of some of those and post them in our social feeds so we can see them? I'd love to. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been made? They exist? Are they
yeah, I made no. I think I've yeah, this is Doge. It's not really there. No. I've cut most of them out, and I did make one pack. I sent you that one pic. I think you did post that at one time of me making them that has a bunch of those buttons. I like that pic. So yeah, maybe we can just let's use that again. And but it's fun. I've made them. I love making buttons. And yeah, if you leave us a review, 5-star preferred, but if you have a decent argument as to why you wouldn't give us 5 stars, I'll listen.
4-star will be accepted.
Yeah, it will be accepted. I'll still send you buttons. I'll be a little hurt, but that's all right.
That's cool because we're not corrupt, right?
No, we're not. No, not at all.
I forgot to mention this. I feel digression-y. I'm going to put this out there for everybody right now. My favorite romance comic, Secret Romance, I forgot which issue it is, that I had on my bedside table for like when I had insomnia or something like that. It was just comfort reading that I know literally by heart. It started to fall apart. And I was wondering if you wanted I want, it's like a beloved member of the family you'd want stuffed and mounted in your living room. Do you want it and make buttons? You and Alicia can have them or put them out in the world, whatever. But I don't want the pages to go. I want to use all the buffalo. Every part.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what we do. And that's what we do with old beat up comics that, are fair to poor.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, why not just cut those babies up, make some buttons? No, send it on down to me. Make marks of what buttons you want from that to preserve it. Yeah, I'm with you.
I live in here. I'm touching my chest right now.
They do.
So I don't need buttons. I want them to go out in the world, but I would take some.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Romance comics are great pretty much all the time, but for insomnia especially. And
Mm-hmm.
you'll go through all the feelings. First you read them and you'll just be like, Jesus, these are bad and weird and misogynist and hilarious because of that. But then sometimes they might suck you in too. You might actually start caring a little bit about the stories that aren't, super offensive.
Yeah. I do like them because they're like, in many ways, like a sitcom where it's just like, I know the beats, I know the moves, I know, it's like a very standard chess game. But so then I start melting into the art and like, just like falling in love with the art and like, oh my God, these lines and blah, blah, blah. And then, then you, like you said, halfway through, you kind of like, okay, now I actually care. Is Greg going to leave her or not? Like, because Greg seems like a dick. And he's going to be a doctor soon.
So it's funny talking about romance comics. Gary Friedrich, who we will be talking about today, and we'll be talking about the next couple episodes, since he wrote the first 2 issues of Ghost Rider and the first 2 issues of Marvel Spotlight featuring Son of Satan. I've been referring to the Alter Ego issue 169. It's all about Gary. I'm going to talk about it more today. But yeah, talking about romance comics, he actually wrote a pretty famous story for Charlton Love Diary 47. It's from January of 1967. And it's called Too Fat to Frug. And it's very I only mention it because it does kind of run that gamut of emotion and feeling that you get from a romance comic. You're like, Jesus, this is super offensive, but it's also like kind of beautiful in a weird way. And in the end, like, she ends up just kind of feeling okay to dance. And, she meets a fella, and I don't know, it's quite famous in romance circles. And I was reminded of that when I was reading this issue. I was like, holy shit, Gary Friedrich wrote that. But it's an infamous romance story from Charlton.
So she is a bigger bodied person?
She is.
Has that ever been done? A protagonist in a romance comic being not a physical ideal?
No, not often. I mean, a little bit. It's a bit of a trope, like, oh, I'm not pretty enough, and all that stuff, which is, kind of ridiculous. But yeah, again, the story can seem to modern sensibilities a little insensitive, even a little offensive. But it is weirdly sweet, and she kind of meets a guy who is also of bigger body. And in the end, he's like, "You're beautiful. We need to go out and dance." And they go out and do the frug, and it's kind of sweet and awesome. And it's I can say it's a very infamous romance story. And I was reminded,
I could feel my little feelings behind my eyes, kind of like. Well, for a second there, just for a second.
It's really good. Like, I know, people are very on the fence about it, but it is one of those to where you're like, oh, hell. Yeah. But yeah. So, well, since we're already talking Gary Friedrich, let's jump into this issue. We're going to be talking about Ghost Rider 2. And that's, Matt, take it away.
Actually, before we do that, can I just mention that, as we mentioned last time, I've heard some rumblings, but I haven't got any recipes yet for a season drink. So if you forgot or are just jumping on now, we need a Son of Satan themed cocktail. The winner will get a t-shirt from our t-shirt shop on Threadless. There's a Threadless link in the show notes here. Send those to us. We sooner rather than later, please, because we've done this before. We're experts. We receive the drinks, we taste them on air, we talk about what we think, and then we arbitrarily choose when the contest is over and we pick one. So don't forget, because I've heard people saying stuff, but no one's sent us an actual recipe yet. So,
do you want to double down on your no fireball whiskey again?
I was actually thinking about unclenching a little bit, but
really,
I don't like Red Hots. But I would.
You don't like Red Hots? It has a cartoon devil on it.
So I do like that, but what I don't understand is how is cinnamon the spice and cinnamon candy are 2 completely different planets. I don't get the spicy, burny, hot thing. Cinnamon is like, I put it on a cappuccino, like just sprinkle it on the foam. What is this spicy nonsense? I don't get this.
So you don't like Red Hots, you don't like hot tamales.
No. I like real tamales.
Yeah, okay.
But candy? Fuck
but
no.
But you think of the spice cinnamon more as like the spice from Dune.
Yes, it's like a spice melange.
Okay, so you're thinking melange. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm not really a fan of the spice.
Oh, really?
Cinnamon, but I love cinnamon candies.
Okay, maybe it's just a dichotomy of You know how there's like that thing? I told you I was going to be this way tonight. I'm sorry, but they've isolated. There's a gene when people say I don't like cilantro. It tastes like soap.
Yeah,
that is actually a genetic component. It is not people being weird. It is the makeup of their human organism. I wonder if it's like that, where it's like, I like spice, like the real stuff and real things that go on pastries, and like, oh, I like shitty candy and shitty whiskey blends, and maybe we don't know.
Maybe, yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I swear we do talk about Bronze Age comics at some point during this episode.
I thought with our second episode, I could unclench and just kind of.
Hey, I am all for you unclenching.
I've unbuttoned the top button of my pants. I'm not going to lie. Right now, I'm wearing pajama bottoms. So.
I forgot to take my belt off.
Okay. I promise we're doing it now.
All right, let's do it. Let's jump in. Ghost Rider 2, go.
Okay. Ghost Rider 2. This is cover dated October of 1973. And this is our second issue of his own book. There's a new little tagline above the title that says, "Is he alive or dead?" And if you recall, last issue, we had Wanted, Dead, and Alive. So they're kind of working this little train here, like just, whatever. Still has that logo I didn't care for last issue of the really crusty ghost and the really lame, like, speedy delivery writer. But good news. We got Gil Kane, inks by Frank Giacoia. Joe Sennett in his records said, I inked this. This was my job. I did blah, blah, blah. And people came back later and said, no, that was Frank Giacoia. So that's funny that people would just do their work logs and forget that they didn't actually do something.
Yeah, funny, right? I think that was Nick Caputo that did the correction on that.
Yes, it was.
Correct.
We got quite a display here. The bottom 2/3 of the page are just the one big panel. And we have the devil, Satan himself, springing up out of a cloud of yellow smoke. And Linda, is it Littletrees?
Littletrees.
Linda Littletrees is standing next to him with her eyes glowing, and her costume has shrunk between issues. It was hot pants and like a cropped half top, and now she's just wearing essentially a bikini with sleeves. And she's saying, "Welcome to hell, mortal. Step right up and shake hands with Satan." And in the foreground, Ghost Rider is kind of like wiping out as he's avoiding this scene. And I like how Kane and Giacoia did him. Like, his face is not so much a skull as half head, half skull. So he almost looks like a desiccated corpse. And I dig it. His skull's still burning, but he looks like he has like a little bit of flesh on his face. He has white Mickey Mouse gloves on, which I think are also kind of weird and cool. And what else to say? Oh, and Satan, smoke show.
Yeah, he's fucking jacked. He's got like a 12-pack or something. Like, yeah, it's insane how cut he is.
You could shred cheddar cheese on his abs.
Yeah, didn't expect that. Didn't see that coming. But I guess I should have. He was the most beautiful of angels.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think of this one? I kind of dug it. Not as much as the last one, but
yeah, I dig it. No, I think it's good. I think it's interesting that I don't know. I don't want to jump ahead of myself here, but looking at this, I was just like, oh shit, like this is pretty good. But then when I saw the interior art, I was like, oh my God, like this is it. I don't know. On a lot of these comics, it's kind of rare when the cover is not as good as the interior art, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you on that whole thing. Let's jump in because yeah, I said something on our Discord message board that you commented on that. I was like, I never thought I'd say these words. But I will let you do page 1 before we say that.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, let's get to our cast of creators. This is written by Gary Friedrich, drawn by Jim Mooney, inked by Sid Shores, colored by Linda Lessman, lettered by Charlotte Jetterer, and edited by Roy Thomas. So I'll talk a little bit about the cast of creators. I could talk more about Gary Friedrich's comics credits, but I'd kind of rather talk about an article in Alter Ego 169 that is the giant thing of Gary Friedrich that I'm talking about a lot. And this is an interlude by a guy named Ken Steinhoff, who worked with Gary. Gary, I think at like 19 or 20, was the editor of this super small town paper. It was Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And he was the editor of this paper. Ken Steinhoff wrote this small article that I'll summarize. It was called The Great 1964 Southeast Missouri Fair Expose. And it was basically, it seemed like this is almost like a 3 or 4 person operation, this small town newspaper. And it was Gary and this guy, Ken. And so, okay, I'm going to read a little bit what Ken Steinhoff wrote. Said the Southeast Missouri District Fair in Cape Girardeau was my first newspaper undercover investigation assignment. Jackson Pioneer editor Gary Friedrich decided he and I would go to the fair to see if we could uncover and document gambling violations on the fair's midway. I have no way of knowing whether or not he had any evidence of the gambling or if he just wanted to go to the fair. He then says Gary had a number of theories. Number 1, the midway games were either rigged or they weren't games of skill, which would make them gambling. 2, if they were gambling, the cops had been paid off. 3, UFOs were real.
Is that really what it says?
Yeah, it's really what it says. It says Gary was capable of multitasking. He was working on that last theory at the same time. So he went into this fair, yeah, with both of them. So basically, just Ken and Gary go around and Ken and Gary both take these photos. We'll have to post these photos because they're super fucking awesome. But it's all of like these, just like side, fair midway games. There's one called Mike's Crazy Ball and stuff like that. And there's a series of photographs, and the carnies are getting angrier through the series of photographs. And then the last one is just a shot that Ken said were these guys. He was joined. There was a nice man that came over to talk to us. He was joined by 2 other burly fellows who wanted to make sure I got back to my car safely at the end of the evening. So they basically escort these 2 like scrawny 19-year-old kids out. Oh man, yeah, the carnies were gonna beat them up, and I don't know. I just thought I was endlessly tickled by this fucking article.
I'm sure they were stoked. There was photojournalists there taking pictures of their racket.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, these carnies look so fucking pissed. It killed me. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get back to his comic shit, but we had to take a little interlude.
Oh no, I love that, man. That's great.
It really made me laugh. But back to comic stuff. So like you were saying, I never thought that I would say the sentence like you said. Never thought you'd be like, oh, thank God Tom Sutton's gone and Jim Mooney's here. Which, but goddamn, I did say that. You did say that.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Mooney does the pencils this issue. He was born in 1919.
Holy
he was
shit.
he was first associated with the sci-fi pulps like Weird Tales, and actually one of Forrest J. Ackerman's first fanzines called Imagination.
Ooh.
But his first comic credit was Mystery Men Comics 9 from April of 1940.
Good God.
And, he worked at the Eisner Eiger shop for just a real short time. Then he moved to a staff job at Fiction House. His first timely Marvel credit is in June of 1941 in Captain America 4, where he drew a backup story featuring a character called Took the Cave Boy. So I know I have a scan of Captain America 4 somewhere. I'm going to be fucking looking at that and trying to take some screenshots of Took the Cave Boy. I don't think that took off as a regular backup feature, but I'll try and find it and post a pic because I'm very curious.
So last episode you were talking about how Sid was working on like inking Captain America 1 and 2, like
that's right?
Like so these guys were elbow to elbow, or not literally, but maybe business wise. Definitely,
which is weird. And I was going to bring it up later. I'll say now, I don't think they ever worked on the same story.
Oh wow!
So I honestly think, and I looked, like I really kind of scoured GCD and made sure there were a couple credits in GCD that were originally credited to Mooney and Sid Shores, but then they were corrected.
Wow.
Yeah. So honestly, this is their first pairing, which is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Jim Mooney stayed at Timely for a while. He moved on he kind of moved to the funny animal books, like, which were a huge thing in the 40s. Mm-hmm. And, But then he moved to DC in 1946, where he would stay for the next 22 years. And you know what his first gig was at DC? He was a ghost artist for Bob Kane on Batman 38.
Well, no, Bob Kane always drew everything.
Oh,
Wait,
sorry.
what are you talking about?
I know. I forgot.
Sorry, I need to curl up in the fetal position on the floor for a minute.
Yeah, it wasn't Dick Sprang at all. It was just Bob Kane, totally. And but he's mostly known for a super long run on Supergirl. But he did a bunch of different books over the years at DC. He left for Marvel in 1968. He first inked a backup story in Kid Colt Outlaw, but then he went on to work on Spider-Man. His first credit on Spider-Man was an inker on the Spectacular Spider-Man magazine, #1.
Oh, wow. That was the only one. How many were those? Like
there were two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel by the Month does a great episode on that with Joe Keating, and it's they're really, really cool. It was a magazine. Like they tried it out. They did two issues, and then I think they actually
those black and white.
Yeah, those were black and white, but I actually think they went back and like broke them up and put them in the actual magazine.
I feel like that's
to
true.
Get ahead on the on the game for Spider-Man. But Jim Mooney's really, as far as Marvel goes, he's most well known for his work on Spider-Man. He worked on a ton of fucking Spider-Man, all the way up to Spidey Super Stories, which you and I make fun of a lot. Deservedly, but goddamn, when he's paired with another Golden Age artist, holy shit. And okay, so on the newsstand this month, he had art in Submariner 66, Thor 216, and this second issue, A Ghost Rider. But yeah, Mooney fucking kills it in this issue.
Yeah, I felt like I felt weird saying "Thank God Sutton's out of there."
Right?
It's such a weird thing to say, but I opened this file and saw this page. I was like, oh God. It was like easing into a hot tub after snowboarding all day long. Like,
yeah, it's so awesome. So this is inked by Sid Shores. These guys are 3 years apart. They both got their start in the early golden age of comics. They both kept busy this entire time. And yeah, it's like they met and were just like, oh, we know what to do. Mm-hmm. That was my first, before I get to the other credits, that was my first thing I thought of when I saw this opening page. I was just like, this could be from Captain America 6. Like the layout, everything about it. I was just like, this is fucking golden age right here. Yeah.
And did Mooney do much work on romance comics? Because the way Roxy is portrayed in this entire issue, or Rocky, I guess is what they call her, felt like he was just going on a muscle memory.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I mean, that's what I noticed, is that Rocky, and a lot of times that he did Rocky, it did seem very much like the late 60s, early 70s romance style. In particular,
the 66, Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's romance comics, as I call them. One of my favorite eras. I don't know why. I love those years for romance comics particularly.
No, I totally agree. So yeah, I was stoked that we get to see Linda Lessman. We already know Linda from her colors on lots of Werewolf by Night issues. 2 months after this issue is released, she'll be handling the colors on Werewolf by Night 12 featuring the Hangman.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool.
A beloved classic episode with Brad, I believe.
That's right. Charlotte Jeter is a longtime letterer of comics. She lettered hundreds of comics at Charlton and DC. We know her work from Werewolf by Night 7, Ritual of Blood, and Creatures on the Loose 32, which I think is the second Craven issue.
Did she have any pseudonyms, or did she always use Jeter?
C. Jeter, mostly C. Jeter, okay. Some kind of form of that.
Okay.
But shit, let's get into this opening page. This opening page is just fucking fantastic. Like it starts, we have 3 small panels at the top that kind of zoom in on Ghost Rider driving a car, which through the pouring rain.
A grandpa truck, really.
I know. It's true. It is a grandpa truck. The narration reads, "Night, a rare rainstorm drenches the desert. Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider, squints to see the road through a windshield turned opaque by the torrent of water rushing over it. As he struggles to maintain control, his soul is ripped apart by a nagging decision he must make: to continue his flight from justice and die at sunrise, or to surrender himself to the pursuing police. So the lower 3/4 of this page, Jesus, it's a huge illustration of Ghost Rider's head with a small inset of Bart's crash from last issue, which is really great.
Too soon, but you know.
Yeah, too soon, but still funny. And and so the final narration reads: suddenly, as he recalls the horrible death of Bart Slade while attempting a jump he himself should have made, he realizes there is a third choice. Though the very thought makes his blood run cold, he knows he can end his running and, here we get to the title, shake hands with Satan. I love how shake hands, it kind of follows the arc of the steering wheel. Like, fuck, everything about this. I loved this opening page. It's almost my favorite page of the entire issue.
I am totally with you. Our angle is as if we were crouching down between the passenger seat and the driver's seat, looking up at him driving. Such a strange angle, and such an exciting angle to look at a skull looking through the windshield like that. And those top 3 panels that are insets on this, essentially one big panel with 3 insets, are so great. Like you cut in on the truck, then you cut in on him in mostly silhouette in the cab, and then you can see him. I did have a question though. Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider, squints to see the road through a windshield. How does a skull squint?
That's a good point.
And this is a lifelong Spider-Man fan who doesn't question when Spider-Man makes weird expressions with his eyes. But yeah, God, this page, I saw this page and then went to the Discord and said, never thought I'd say this, but old Tommy Sutton, hit the showers, buddy.
Yeah, no shit, right? So weird, not expected. Because, you know, I know Mooney's art from Spider-Man.
He's a jobber to me. Like,
he's a jobber,
grew up,
man.
He's a solid workhorse. Nothing wrong with him. Rarely do I do handsprings over his work, though. And then I saw this, like, holy shit, this is great.
Yeah, I never would have expected this. But yeah, killer opening page.
Yeah, cream dream, for sure. Like I said, it was nice seeing Bart die again. Because
I thought so.
Just a couple pages ago. On the next page, we get a really cool top row of panels that are divided by diagonal lines, so that it's kind of divided up in a strange way anyway, but they're laid out like an EC comic. Like, again, we're looking down from like Johnny's feet, looking up so he's kind of like cut off and dissected by his own steering wheel. It just feels very EC, and there's another angle that's like a 45-degree slant on that, and then one's looking through the windshield at them. Felt very like Johnny Craig or John Kamen or whatever his name is. So yeah, he's saying, I can't give in to the devil. I won't. I fought too long to. And then Rocky says, look out. And so he's driving through this, like, essentially a flash flood and trying to maintain control. He's like, I've run off the road. Got to get it under control. He's like, that was close. I nearly killed you. And it's so strange seeing a skull with basically a mohawk of flame, because they haven't quite figured out that his flame's ensconced in his skull's ensconced in flame. It's like his hair. He's like Firestorm essentially right now.
A little bit, yeah.
And she's like, no, it wasn't your fault, Johnny. You have so much on your mind, so much pressure. Such a strange exchange. He's like, well, I can't drive anymore in this condition, whatever the fuck that means. I'm going to pull over. So they pull over next to some cacti. And she's like, but the police are right behind us. What if they catch you? And he's like, I got to think, man. And she explains to the reader again, that whole thing, like, you're critically injured as Johnny Blaze. If you're not in the hospital by dawn, you're dead.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you doing? And he's takes a stand, and he stands outside the truck in the pissing rain and says, Satan, wherever you are, I give up. You win, Satan. Come and get me. Yeah. And she's inside the cab saying, Johnny, no, you don't know what you're doing. I'm waiting for you. Please come and get me. So he's made a very important decision here that he can't risk Rocky. Bart died because of his weird deal he's been battling with the devil over, and he feels he needs to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, such a cool page, especially those top three panels.
I love those.
Yeah, it's so strange, you know. Yeah, they're kind of diagonal lines between the three panels, but each panel is such a different angle. It's so weird and kind of jarring in such an awesome way.
Yeah, those first two, they're not breaking like any 180-degree rule, but like they're doing something wrong, technically, I'm doing air quotes, that make it jump out and grab you. It's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And yeah, just throughout the whole issue, whenever we see the word Satan, yeah, Charlotte Jetter does such a good job with that. Her letters are killer through this whole thing. But man, the next page, holy shit. So that first panel of this page is Ghost Rider screaming to the night sky, "I'm begging you, Satan, take me. I am yours to do with as you choose." And there's fucking like lightning behind him. And so it was at this point, I'm like, wow, okay, we're 3 pages into the story, and I'm a super fan of Ghost Rider now.
Yeah, I know. I was like, God damn, he's like the coolest motherfucker in the Marvel U-Ray at this moment. Like, he looks like he's going to sing like whatever this big number is. Like, to dream the impossible dream.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, the colors are great. Everything about it. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. So Rocky tries to get him back in the car, but he kind of violently pushes her away, saying, "No, it's because I care for you that I'm doing this. I've caused you too much pain and suffering already. Now it's time I ended it." And yeah, the final panel view is like Ghost Rider's legs, like it's through his legs, like framing a crying Rocky on the ground, pleading, like saying, "You've gone insane. You've never done this to me before. Like, what's wrong with you? I want to help you." And yeah, really, really cool page.
That last panel, like you said, that framing that panel, biking through his boots and the leathers of his pants, so good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I was a little surprised that he pimmed her, or I don't know. I guess Pete did the same thing to MJ at one point in the early 90s. Domestic violence. It was weird to see. Yeah,
it was a little weird to see.
Especially because he's essentially just Johnny Blaze with his head invisible. His skin invisible on his head. So we get this cool dramatic page. The next one is trisected into 3 panels. Again, it's 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom, but they're canted in weird angles. Man, Mooney's just kind of flexing, like enjoying some postmodern, laughing, kind of weird post-Batman TV series kind of stuff, and making it work. He's really dramatic here, like emo, like Hamlet, like, "Come on, Satan, my soul is yours for the asking. I know you to be my true master, and I am ready and willing to serve. Please answer me, claim my soul and end my wretched earthly life forever." So there's these cool panels of that. And then that bottom big one is what is her name?
Linda Littletrees?
Witch woman.
Witch woman, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. In her witch woman form, appearing like she looks like she's in a giant ball of cotton candy, but she's floating with like plug plasma, and it's all pink. And this lettering from Westman is bananas. It's all like bubbly, scriggly, and it's got red fill-ins. And it says, "Satan hears and Satan comes." And the whole sky is just exploding in fire. And Rocky is cowering in the foreground. This great use of the depth of field here, like 3 layers of depth. It's amazing. 5 layers of depth if you count that mesa in the background. Mm-hmm. And she's saying, "Johnny, in the sky, some sort of fireball with a woman in it." And so he's like, "Oh, so he sent you to claim my soul. I wish he'd come himself, but I will nonetheless submit to you. From this moment on, the Ghost Rider and Johnny Blaze exists no more." So he's committed to this deal. He's willing to end his existence and reside forever in hell to make everyone around him not suffer. The art on this page is pretty rock solid. I mean, the first panel is not one of my favorites, but everything else is such a cool layout with the perception, the perspective of the depth of field.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to say, I mean, this looks so different from what Mooney normally does. Like, I know a lot of it has to do with he's together with, an old colleague of his. I know they didn't work together exactly on a job on any comic, but I'm sure they knew each other. I'm sure they knew each other over the years. And Also, this is a title that like we talked about before. Marvel's putting out dozens and dozens of books at this point. Not a ton of editorial oversight on this. It really feels like Mooney is having fun. Like that him and Sid are just being like, fuck, we just get to do whatever we want. This is awesome.
Yes, I would say everything you just said. I would double down on that and say they might even be saying this is kind of nonsense. Let's just have fun. And are just flexing and doing cool stuff because they're like, this is gibberish. If this were Captain America and the Falcon, or if this were whatever, they would feel more constrained to do more kind of button down stuff. But they're kind of like, this is just bananas. This is hippie shit.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, these are older folks at this point. And so, yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, yeah, this could just be two golden age artists just being like, fuck it, let's just have fun. This is goofy.
That just occurred to me when you said that.
Yeah, I love it. So on the next page, we cut back to the rundown shack on the Apache reservation, and we see Damon Hellstrom talking with Sam and Snake Dance about how Linda Littletrees escaped. Sam is frustrated. He's like, "You're supposed to be an exorcist, a man who can cast out demons. That's what Linda needs." And Damon tells him that he can't help her until tomorrow. And then, things get a little weird. He's like, okay, you need to tie this chain of onks around my wrists. He's like, the chain of onks can mean either life or death for both your daughter and myself. And then we get a nice editorial note from Roy who says, an onk is the ancient Egyptian symbol of life. So, yeah, I thought it was interesting. And this is kind of a theme throughout this issue. Last issue, we were most excited about the Damon Hellstrom pages. And in this one, I'm kind of like, oh, these are just the breathers where things kind of like, reset a little bit. They're not as dynamic and exciting as the rest of the issue.
Well, they're not in hell.
No, they're not in hell. That helps.
Yeah, but there was some really nice layouts again from these folks. I feel like they're just kind of stretching like that first panel, the second panel, those seem like default positions. But that third one, like this weird, like crane shot through the window watching. So you see that Damon and Sam are divided by the wood between the panes of glass. Like, just like, you didn't need to do that.
No, and the dividing the panes is a cross. It's
a cross. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
We've been loving eating up this mystery shit. This whole like 1/4 profile, or whatever you would call it, where he's entirely in black and you just get to see the shape of his profile, is deliciously teasing, right? I mean, it's at this point, it's like you're just being sadistic with it. But I did have an issue with I had an issue with the first panel because I think that Gary meant to use the word docile and he said domicile. Because he's referring to how Snake Dance was a villain at first. And he says, a strange visitor has arrived at the inn, which the now domicile witch doctor lives.
Yeah, he did mean docile.
Yeah. So anyway, in that fourth panel, visually, Mooney is flexing, doing master class shit. And then this panel, he does the classic failure of, I forget what it's called. It's not psychological closure, but like the, when two things, if like when Cooper is standing in front of mounted deer antlers and it looks like antlers are coming out of his head.
Yep.
That's like, okay, it's not psychological closure, but it's I forget what it's called, but like there's a lantern hanging from the roof of the shack and Damon's hand is up gesturing and it looks like he's holding some scarab blue beetle gadget. It does. And I looked at that for like 3 minutes the first time I read this. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, oh my God, it's a lamp.
Yeah.
That's his hand just in front of a lamp. That's stupid. That was a bad call. I'm sorry. I hated that.
Yeah, that was weird. I know. That was kind of a rare misstep for these two guys.
Yeah. And we're groping blind here for drinking game stuff. But I'm thinking Chain of Onks, maybe.
I'm into it. Yeah, we get a Halloween mask later, so let's do the do Chain of Onks and
because I saw Onks in the first in his study when he got the phone call to come down to here. So
that's right.
It's a theme.
Yep.
Okay, so we get a cool little page here. I'm just going to kind of dash through this, but he's saying, wrap my wrists up in this Ankh chain and you have to lock me in a room. And no matter what I say, if you've seen Young Frankenstein, you know this. Like, he's like, no matter how much I beg, no matter how much I plead, no matter what I say to you in the night, do not let me out. He makes him swear to it. So they tie his wrists up together and they're saying, I don't understand, but I will do as you ask. And he's like, as he's leaving Damon in this room, he says, well, I hope you'll be comfortable. If you need anything, call me. He's like, no, God damn it. I just said, don't do anything for me. So we already know this isn't going to go well. So Sam finally's like, all right, fine. I'll walk you in here. I'll see you at breakfast. And he's like, weird, man. Definitely incredibly weird. And we have this nice panel at the bottom where Damon is kneeling down in front of this bed. He still has his Columbo trench coat on. He's still mostly in shadow, and he's praying to the Heavenly Father, saying, once more, I ask you to see me through the nightly ordeal, which is about to descend upon me. Give me the strength, of those who are my hosts, blah, blah. And he's just a whole thing saying, basically, give me through the night so I can serve you in the daytime as my job. So I've been loving this, teasing out these breadcrumbs of what the hell this guy is. We haven't seen him.
Nope.
He's getting kinky and weird and asking for weird shit. So I'm into it.
Yeah, this is that's nothing super special about this page, but I do love that bottom with him praying. Just
me too.
It's really, really cool.
With his hands tied up like some kink lord.
So the next page, we're back to Ghost Rider, and we see Witch Woman in a panel that looks a bit more typical Jim Mooney. Like I don't know, that seemed all Mooney and not so much Sid Shores on that.
It's a blacklight poster.
It is a blacklight poster, but it's Witch Woman saying that Rocky would be a most pleasing gift for the master, and since Johnny has surrendered his soul to Satan, Rocky will do likewise, just to be with Johnny. And in the final panel, Ghost Rider says, forget it. The offer I made was for my soul, no one else's. I will go with you, but Rocky stays. And I got to say that final panel, that's my favorite of Witch Woman. I just got to say.
You dirty old man.
It's just really well done. It's just really cute.
I love that first blacklight poster one, honestly. I mean,
yeah,
she looks like Ronnie from Archie. So I'm already like,
yeah,
getting all weird.
Yeah,
because I've always loved Ronnie. Yeah, she's gorgeous the way they're drawing her. It's very sexualized though. Yeah,
it definitely is. And that third panel is really cool too with her eyes. That's just it's not like flame eyes. It's almost just like exploding sun eyes or something like that. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Doesn't that feel like something that would be in that movie Mausoleum? Remember that awesome horror movie?
I love that movie.
It's so good. Yeah, and we get to see that her word balloons are shivery.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be Lessman making the balloons or just doing the lettering? Or no, Lessman's a color.
Lessman's color. That's a good question. I would think that would be her, though.
So there's an indication that this is not an earthly voice. Something is unnatural about it.
Yes.
Which we pick up on before Ghost Rider for some reason, which I did. I don't know if you did.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, Linda's Witch Woman is saying, like, it's not up to you to choose whether or not Rocky comes with me, blah, blah. And then he throws down these flames, a bank of flames in front of them and says, so you say, but it will take more than the words of a female to make me a believer. And I think you were probably doing the same thing. I was like, what the fuck?
What?
And we get another close-up of Linda with her eyes glinting. She says, even in a situation such as this, male chauvinism rears its ugly head. But to no avail. Look into my eyes, Johnny Blaze, and let the power of Satan drain the resistance from your body. And he has this flame wall. And he says, this is, I thought, of course, I went to Kung Fu Theater last night. So I'm thinking of like the whole, singing crane, like all that like shit. But it's like, never. Though my eyes are irresistibly drawn to yours, my wall of flame burns high enough that I cannot return your stare of death. It felt very Kung Fu Theater to me.
It's very Kung Fu Theater. But now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we figured, like, I mean, there'll be a reveal this issue, but we kind of got it last issue that
she's being driven by Satan.
Well, she is Satan.
She is.
So I thought it was. She's not
her
there
soul
at all.
is in limbo right now.
Yeah, and so I was just like, "Way to go, Satan! Calling out male chauvinism. It's like, good for you, man."
Oh my God, I love that. At this moment on the bottom panel, we see this weird stalemate, and a bunch of motorcycle headlights start zooming up. It's like, oh, it's probably the police. This is the end, Rocky, one way or the other. And Linda says, then it will be my way, for no mere humans are a match for which woman. So yeah, we're led to believe this is the cops finally catching up. And sure enough, it is not.
It's so much better. But before we get to that, on the next page, we're back at the shack. Sam and Snake Dance are having trouble sleeping, which I get. That makes a lot of sense. It's almost midnight, and suddenly, so Damon is in his room. He says it's so late, nearly midnight, and still nothing has happened. But it's happened before this way, striking when I least expect it. And so, yeah, he goes over to the window to look to the heavens and pray. So he starts, there's this 3 great little panels of him putting his hands together, tied with the onks, and praying. And then suddenly his speech balloon is jagged with red letters, and it just giant letters that say, "Let me out. You must let me talk to you. It's urgent. Ignore what I told you earlier. I must speak to you or your daughter will die." So yeah, he told him this was going to happen.
Yep. I love that Snake Dance looks like the old witch from Haunt of Fear in that first panel. Like,
right?
He's regularly drawn like some kind of Graham Angles guy. It's so weird. We get a great fucking splash page on the next one where we cut back. I feel like you and I were basically cutting back. I feel like I have all the Ghost Rider stuff and you have all the Damon stuff for most of this issue. It says, but elsewhere, and we get this huge splash page of a roaring motorcycle gang. Every cliche you can think of. And Linda's in one of those, this little inset panel saying, what manner of beings are these? As her eyes are glinting and flashing in weird ways. And Johnny Blaze says, a psycho gang. And Rocky just says, no, in giant red letters, which I love.
Oh, it's awesome.
And there's this little balloon at the bottom I have to read as,
yes.
So the guy in the foreground, who is clearly the leader, he has, cowboy boots or biker boots on and like shredded pants that go up almost to the kneecap, and he has a Iron Cross necklace on, which was a requisite, and a leather vest requisite. He has mutton chops and a mustache, no chin hair. He's bald.
Yep.
He's not cool like our bald biker that we knew from that werewolf Monsters Unleashed story.
Oh yeah, Baldy. Yeah.
So here's a little Gary description here. Like hellspawn demons, they come roaring across the rain-soaked desert sands astride powerful iron steeds, the hordes of Attila the Hun, circa 1973. But the horrors of Satan's hell might even pale in comparison with the hell on earth created and the twisted mind of Big Daddy Dawson's ruthless riders.
This made me so happy.
I laughed. I lulled. I lots of lettuce.
Oh man, yeah, this is great. I gotta say, I laughed out loud too, but then I also heard that theme from Werewolves on Wheels in my head.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Oh, it's good shit. Yeah, this page is so good. I knew shit was gonna go down after this. I love the guy on the left there with the flowing red hair.
Yes, I knew you would. That soul patch.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Mustache and a do-rag. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that guy's fucking awesome.
We've already got a swastika on this first page, but there's swastikas, so if it's a problem for you, brace yourself, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'd forgot. Yeah, there is one on the guy's. But in listening to Joe Keating talk, there were really horrible things advertised in 70s Marvel comics. Swastika patches and just crazy shit. So
do you know the relationship between like the Iron Cross, which is almost always on bikers and stuff like that, and that like how that relates to the Germans? Like, is that an equally reviled thing now, or is it still like a neutral kind of weird, just like a German like medal?
Oh, that's a good question.
For valor.
I would assume it's not neutral.
Yeah, I mean,
I would think there's still a lot of baggage with that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I don't know. I don't think the bikers were wearing it because they liked how it looked.
No, it's pretty cool again, though.
I mean, I guess, but yeah.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah. So the next page, I was really getting, like you were saying, some really old school Werewolf by Night vibes.
Mhm.
Like I'm meeting Baldy and the gang all over again.
Yep.
And in those early issues too, where the biker gang was going after Lissa. But yeah, the Bikles, Circle Ghost Rider, Rocky, and Witch Woman. Like Rocky's like, Johnny, stop them! God knows what they'll do to us. And the leader's like, one man stop us, lady, dream on. He can't hope to stop me, Big Daddy Dawson, even with his Halloween mask. So drink.
What are you having, by the way?
I'm having a hot toddy because I am getting over a cold.
True.
So I'm having a hot toddy with rye.
My shot for this episode is Dickel's rye.
Oh, that's what I'm drinking.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. So in
Vibin'.
sync. Love it. So Ghost Rider is thinking, after he says the Halloween mask thing, he's like, he's got me there. I can't use my fire powers. That would expose to the public what I really am, a pawn of Satan by night. And then, the Big Daddy just picks him up saying, well, come on, hero. You're the big dude biker. Either live up to your rep or I'm going to grind you into a bloody pulp. I did like kind of the background of that. It's just like the starburst of color.
Yeah. I mean, he's like Man Mountain Marco or something like that.
He is. He's giant.
Yeah. This is a point where Gary's writing, I had an issue with it, where it's like, so he's not willing to protect his love and his identity and his life by torching these three dudes with hellfire because it would reveal who he is. Like, he's not willing to kill. I get that. But like these, I don't, if there's any bikers out there, I apologize. I'm going to stereotype you guys for a bit. Bikers aren't typically super great with female people they capture.
No.
At least not portrayed in media. So.
Yeah, and but it's a good point. It's like what did Ghost Rider think? Like he's going to reveal himself and shoot hellfire at these guys, and these guys going to be like, "I'm going to go tell my nearest priest."
Yeah,
like,
I'm going to tell the cops.
I'm going to tell the cops. That's what bikers do, right?
Where do the Stadies get donuts and coffee?
Yeah,
I got a story for you guys. Yeah, it's just that was my first got pulled out of the story. And I was like, that makes no sense. I know they're trying to play nice with the code and all this, but he would torch these dudes.
Yes.
Even if you let them live, he would still torch them and say, yeah, I don't give a shit.
As he should.
Or say, I have, fireworks shit in my sleeves. I mean, you can say, this is Marvel 1973. You can say anything.
Yeah.
So, Big Daddy Dawson's like, just like I figured, you're yellow, scared to stand up to a real man. As he's holding a demon-possessed human being by the fucking vest. He said, Johnny thinks, I have to control myself no matter what. And he gets chucked by Dawson. And Dawson's standing over him. He has a swastika on his red leather vest. And he's like, what looks like a wrestling belt on. And he's holding a chain, wielding it over him. He's surrounded by his cronies. He's like, you know it, and I know it. Now when I get through with you, the whole world's going to know who the greatest stunt rider is, being's how you're going to be awful dead. So, this whole thing comes up again, this greatest stunt rider bragging rights thing.
Well, Ghost Rider hasn't been on a motorcycle all issue.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Yeah. In the last two issues, maybe? Was he in one last? I don't feel like he wasn't.
Yeah, at the beginning. Remember when he ran through the police barricade?
Oh, that's right.
Crashed.
Okay. Yeah. The opening scene. Okay.
Yeah.
So the witch woman, who is Satan, says, I hadn't planned on an unfortunate intrusion such as this. I prefer to conduct my affairs in private. Still, I cannot permit this to continue. I must act now. And it's also bold letters like that, which is cool. And so Dawson's about to pound him into grease for his gears, as he says. He looks pretty formidable,
He does, especially in that last panel, which we're looking up at him, which is really cool. No, Ghost Riders looked really puny compared to Dawson.
Yeah, you can shoot fire out of your hands. But, I do love the way Ghost Rider is depicted as he's laying on the ground helpless. His gloves, the metacarpals and metatarsals, whatever, He just looks amazing.
Yeah, he
Like
does.
all the detail in the leathers, so cool.
Yeah, but at least for his in this earthly realm, Ghost Rider's pretty depowered. As I wonder what Brad Elmore is thinking right now.
I'm sure he's frustrated because he does not like very young and experienced Jack Russell's power set.
Yeah.
So it feels like that's almost that. Like his flex has been spraying a wall of fire between him and someone else so far,
which is super badass. But
cool.
Yeah, he's really holding back here.
But he used it. I mean, he made Mexico pay for it. It's like that kind of. It's like. It's a wall to block a stare.
Yeah, it is.
It's not an offensive wall. It's defensive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
Reactive.
So yeah, Satan, in the form of Witch Woman, has had enough of this nonsense. She's just like, enough of this petty mortal interference with the workings of Satan. Come, Johnny Blaze, to the netherworld, your home for eternity. He says, no, wait, I cannot leave without. And then I like that they leave in like this really cute little pink poof, which I thought was very anticlimactic, but very, very funny. Yeah. So then, of course, just like you were saying, Big Daddy grabs hold of Rocky, saying, face it, little lady, your gutless Romeo done split with another chick, but that's his loss and your gain. After all, now you got yourself a real man to take care of you. Trust me, Big Daddy's gonna make you forget that creep ever lived. And yeah, that's the biggest swastika we've got in this issue.
Yep.
Not awesome.
Things just escalated quickly.
Yep. As they do.
Yeah, and I don't like enjoying the art of stuff that's not cool, but like the art of those last two panels is awesome. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. So moving on. Okay, so we cut back to the shack, and Sam Silvercloud is saying, "Hey, he says he can help Linda. I'm gonna let him out." And Snake Dance like, "No, Sam, you mustn't." The whole thing. And he opens the door. He takes the Ankh chain off of the hands, and then we see this cool middle panel, which is a belt line shot of Damon, and he's shirtless with a yellow belt, red briefs, and red tights on, saying "free." And Sam turns around and is like, "You've changed. That costume. The strange birthmark on your chest. Very observant of you, mortal, and very foolish of you to release me." So his word balloons are super spiky and stabby, so his voice is super strange right now.
Yeah.
And Sam says, but Linda, you said you'd help her if I freed you. And we get this cool panel at the bottom, looking at Worm's Eye view at the door of the shack as he's just sprinting out. So we just see golden boots, and Sam and Snake Dance like just bewildered looking after them. He says, "I lied, fool, and now I must be gone." And he just sprints off like the Flash. And Sam says, "Snake Dance, get your rifle. He must be stopped." And then he says back, "Stop me? You'd do as well to try and catch the wind, fools. Farewell, fools, and may your names be forever etched in the legends of infamy for the deed you have performed this night." So complete Jekyll and Hyde.
Absolutely Jekyll and Hyde. But I actually think that last little speech, I think he just wrote the outro to our show.
Oh, nice. And there's an asterisk there with a note from Roy that says, "To learn the stunning secret of Damon Hellstrom, don't miss Marvel Spotlight number 12 on sale now." So if you've been frustrated that Damon hasn't been much in the book, we're going to fix that next episode.
That's right. No, you're right. This was hilarious. I just love I love the costume change. I love his wrestling pants he suddenly has on.
He looks like the Flash.
He does look like the Flash. It's really, really funny.
But you never see him full on, which is still like this beautiful secret, right? Like you never get to see him. You see his hands in close up as they're taking the chain off. You see his groin area and his forearms, like, and then his boots. Like they are really whipping us up into a frenzy, and I'm all about it.
Yeah, me too. But man, the next page is awesome. It's a full page illustration of hell. And we get some great Friedrich narration at the top. It says, through a swirling vortex of light and dark, the Ghost Rider and Witch Woman are borne at the blinding speeds on the wings of a sinister spell to the bone-chilling netherworld glimpsed once before by the Satan-cursed Johnny Blaze. A world of intense heat, bubbling pools of molten lava, and deadly demons, a world known to worshipping mortals on Earth as hell. And it's really awesome. We do have some wildlife, I guess you could say. There's some bats in the background. It's kind of a strange dragon and kind of a scary snake, but mostly it just looks like a weird cavern.
Yeah, it's hell fauna.
Yeah, definitely. Hell fauna.
So
it's cool.
And I love the way you read that thing. It almost sounded like Steve Brule at the end. A world known to worshiping mortals as hell.
Yeah.
Dingus.
Yeah, dangus.
This art is freaking gorgeous. This is Blacklight poster number 2, by the way.
Yep.
And like you said, there's these strange denizens of the underworld in the foreground that are sort of like dragons and serpents. But it all looks very horrifying. You see silhouettes of flying things in the background. This needs to just get rid of these word balloons and have this be a poster in my dorm in 1973, and I would be high as fuck.
That's right.
Yeah, I was impressed by this, by the way. And this next page is, again, I think maybe just more evidence to my spontaneous theory that this was just them having fun and thinking that this is just hippie bullshit and no one's paying attention that matters at Marvel anyway. It's another 3-panel page. The top third of the page is the 2 panels divided by a weird, not, perpendicular division. And then there's a 1/3 huge panel at the bottom, which is, these layouts are weird, but she's saying, I cannot comprehend your ignorance of the situation. You're a citizen of hell, like it or not. And he's looking at her like, well, I do not like it, especially not when the woman I love has been left at the mercy of a pack of animals. And the second panel on the top is this strange, we've pulled up and we're seeing some stalagmites. What's it called when they're not broken? Does that even have a name?
Ooh, that's a good question.
When they've grown together. But there's this weird, like, Perlin-esque, like glitter nighty thing. Like it's a bat, but it has a long dragon tail and it has hair on its head. It looks like Dracula, I guess, like in mid transformation. It's just swooping by. Basically, she's saying, but that no longer has any bearing on you. She remains immortal while he's like, no, I'm still a freaking mortal, lady. Until I surrender my soul to Satan, I have the final say. And this big bottom panel, that's 2/3 of the page, is this beautiful portrait of her looking up, like kind of from her knees at her. Did you love this, or is this just me?
No, I loved this.
Gorgeous. And she's like, so all that stands between a meeting of our minds, or should I say our souls, then I heartily assure you that the obstacle shall be removed in a matter of moments. And she snaps her fingers. She's like, oh, wait, what are you doing? Stop pulling your tricks. I'm tired of this like hocus pocus bullshit. And he says, I'm going to remain here until I know that Roxanne is safe. So the jig is up. The ruse of her being Linda Littletrees is over.
I loved that last panel. I thought it was super great.
That and the first page are my 2 favorite parts, I think, visually.
Totally agree. And yeah, I thought Perlin as well when I saw that bat with like the weird demon Dracula face on it.
Like Michael would definitely put that on the wall of
the rotunda.
Yeah, yes. The rotunda.
All right. So the next page, Witch Woman melts away to reveal that she was Satan all along. And Ghost Rider instantly, upon seeing Satan, is like, no! Satan says, what you have seen was no trick, Johnny Blaze. It was merely the transformation of my own soul back into my own body. You see, the Witch Woman was merely me, disguised within her body to ease my movements in the mortal world. Johnny's like, you, Satan, I should have known. And what a weird layout this panel is. Again, It's so cool and weird and shouldn't work and should be really clunky and strange. Like in that third panel, like Satan's arm is strangely moving out, but it's backwards. Like it's really, really weird.
I thought that was his hand reaching out from the other panel, like reaching.
Is it from the other panel?
Yeah, it's reaching out from under that panel that is laying on top of it.
See, I feel like Linda Lessman probably should have colored that more red than pink.
You're right.
I think that would have helped delineate.
It would have been clearer.
Yeah, it would have been a little clearer. But then, yeah, at the bottom panel, we just get this awesome panel that kind of is Ghost Rider remembering back to the events of Marvel Spotlight 8, where he dueled to the death with Crash Simpson, with the life of Roxanne at stake. And yeah, like I said, cool page, weird layout.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, and so it's cool because I would imagine that any kind of afterlife or anything that is not our, current life would be like this weird kind of phasey thing. So he's remembering something, but he's talking through it as he relives it. So he's both there in the memory and there in the present, remembering it as he's doing it again. It's so cool. As far as the way that Satan appears in his first appearance to me, because I didn't read the early Marvel Spotlight stuff, he has those stripes like Johnny Storm has when he's the Human Torch.
Yep.
So he's red and he has those stripes. He has black hair and goat horns that just kind of like closely cling to his head and go backwards. So and glowing red eyes and you can't see his face. He's creepy looking.
Yeah, he is creepy looking. It's effective.
And if you forgot or didn't know, Crash Simpson, the person we're talking about, Rocky's dad, is essentially Johnny Blaze's father because he was orphaned and Crash raised him like a surrogate son. And so he had these feelings for Rocky, when they were growing up. And so they felt weird. And I believe they even lied and told him that he was actually their son. And he didn't know till later that he was actually adopted. So there was a weird, like, unnecessary incestuous feeling that went on for a while, blah, blah. But anyway, yes, the fact that he had to fight his adoptive father in hell. And basically Satan said, I'm getting one of your souls. And Crash said, I will give my soul down for my son. Even if he's not my biological son, I will give my soul for him. And so he was rescued by a mysterious messenger in a cloak. I don't know about this at all. I don't remember this at all. Do you?
Kind of.
And so we have Johnny facing off against Satan. He says, and now we face each other again. And once more, Roxanne stands between you and your goal of enslaving my soul. And Satan says, wrong, Johnny Blaze. This time it is different. There will be no messenger to save you. I'd love to know who that messenger was, by the way, but we'll get to there sometime. So he says, this time your soul will be mine. And Johnny starts sprinting away in the opposite direction because he can always run away from problems. Yep. And he says, after him, my loyal servants, but do not slay him. Merely deliver him unto me alive. And Johnny's saying, never. The purity of Roxanne has thus far spared me from your evil wrath. And it shall spare me once more. And there's this nice panel at the bottom, a big one, of a bunch of pearliny demons, of all makes and models, surrounding him in this strange hellscape with pools of green fluid and stuff. And he's like, the narrative says, Roxanne's not as side as a repellent to these powers of Satan, but his love for her is still kind of having that same effect. And every fiber of his strength in his body is, imbued with fighting off these horrible hordes of hell. So somehow love is triumphing over physicality.
Satan?
Yeah. I mean, Roxanne's not there, but he's remembering how when she was there,
yes,
it saved him from demon onslaught. So it's helping him now.
Yeah, definitely. Especially that last panel down there. The colors are very Linda Lessman.
Mm-hmm.
Really reminded me of the Werewolf by Night issues that she colored.
Yeah, it reminded me of Marcosa House stuff as well. I can't remember.
That's what I was thinking. Yep, okay. I think she did do those. I don't think that was Petra. I think that was Linda Lessman.
Okay.
And same on the final page, we see a bunch of the demons wrestle Johnny to the ground, and Satan says, "It is now ended forever, Johnny Blaze. I now command the sacred sword of Satan to pierce your heart, making you forever my prisoner. Let the sword fall." And yeah, the sword is just about to fall, and we hear a voice off panel that cries, "Stop! Before you claim another life, Satan, you must first answer to me." And then Satan is very upset. He says, "No, not you, not you."
Pope Benedict.
Yeah. We get the in a teaser box at the bottom, it says the cataclysmic conclusion appears in Marvel Spotlight, on sale now. Don't dare miss it. So yeah, we have not gotten a Son of Satan reveal yet. That is going to be saved for the issue of Marvel Spotlight that comes after this.
Yeah. I like to think of this as like Twin Peaks Return. Like, this is an 18-hour movie. So
it is. Yeah, it's slow. It's slow burn.
Settle in.
Yep.
Trust us.
Yeah.
We said this last time. Yeah. So I'm kind of stoked. We talked a bit about this last episode, but this was initially pitched or slated. I guess I don't know how the system worked back then as the Mark of Satan. But that was maybe back when Stan first said, "I want a book where Satan's the lead," and Roy's like,
maybe not.
We'll work through this. And yeah, but they addressed that a bit in the letters page. So I don't know if you want to do final thoughts first or letters page first, but
I like letters page first.
Okay. So I'm going to read one whole letter and then some excerpts, because if you didn't think incels existed, they did. They just didn't have the reach. So this is from Ghostwriter number 3, which the letters column was called Ghost Writers. Dear Gary, Roy, and company, just dropped a line mostly to say that I think giving Ghostwriter his own mag was a very good idea. I'll leave the congratulations to other people, though, as I'm going to try to win myself a no prize. Here's how it works. Your new strip slated for Marvel Spotlight is The Mark of Satan, a strip apparently to spotlight the Lord of the Underworld. 2. At the end of the last Ghostwriter adventure in Spotlight, you say that GR number 1 will be a prologue to The Mark of Satan. 3. At the very beginning of GR number 1, we are shown a man standing over a grave. This man's mother had apparently been under the control of Satan. 4. Later, this character is introduced as Damon Hellstrom and is quoted as saying, quote, "I stand determined, ... and to rid myself, ... attached to this Mark of Satan birthmark on my chest," end quote. This man is a demonologist / exorcist, or stroke for our friends in England. 5. Thus, I conclude that Damon Hellstrom is going to be a major character in the Mark of Satan strip. I think that this exercise in logic has proven me worthy of a no prize. Glenn F. Petrie Jr., Chicopee, Massachusetts.
All right.
Maine. M.A. I don't know my shit. What's M.A.? It's like this weird, like, you know, like, yeah, you get a laser burn on your brain that just removes one thing.
And that's it's state abbreviations.
State abbreviations. Yeah, it's like the man with two brains. I didn't lose my sevens. I didn't lose my Fs. I lost.
I'm pretty sure MN is Minnesota.
MA.
So yeah, so MA. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
okay.
I lost that because of COVID as well.
Okay. Response: that it has, Glenn. Our official thrice-cursed satanic no prize delivered by Netherworld Parcel Service and scented with sulfur is on its way to you at this very moment. We'd say enjoy it, but we're not sure you'll even want it to let it in your house. However, one thing you and the rest of Marveldom altogether will welcome into the abode you call your own is the new strip you so graciously plugged, Glenn. Though the title has since been changed to The Son of Satan, and Damon Hellstrom is that ominous offspring. Seriously, all kidding aside, so help us, and what's it to ya, though? This new strip is now being handled by Steve Gerber and Jim Mooney, who plan to take it out of the superhero vein and into the realm of the truly weird and bizarre. And Steve's plunged deep into a study of real, authentic type Satanism and magic, which he hopes he can incorporate into upcoming issues. That's the Son of Satan in every issue of Marvel Spotlight. Don't miss it here. And don't miss us either. We'll be hopping back on the old hellbound heroine Harley again in the next issue of Ghostwriter. Till then, don't forget, the devil's looking over your shoulder everywhere you go, and he and Santa are making their lists together this year.
Well, I mean, Gerber's going to come on in a couple issues, but Friedrich's going to.
Yeah.
Friedrich writes the next two. The next two is Marvel Spotlights, and then Gerber takes over.
So they were just getting ahead of themselves.
Yeah, they're getting way ahead of themselves.
So what'd you think of that that no prize begging letter?
It was a little beggy, but no, he's not wrong.
He did lay out a case.
Yeah, he does have a case.
He's probably an assistant district attorney or something somewhere.
Yeah.
So I just want to read an excerpt here. Dear Gary, Jim, and Roy, Ghost Rider #2 was awful. Just awful. Oh, it had a few good points, like the reappearance of Witch Woman, who's one of your most beautiful and potentially most dramatic characters, and the splash page was excellent too. Unfortunately, that's where the excellence stopped. The plot was thinner than the paper it was printed on. The dialogue was, well, let's put it this way. The women's liberation confrontation between GR and Witch Woman on page 11 was probably the silliest, most irrelevant, inappropriate, nonsensical bit of inane hogwash I've ever read in a Marvel mag. It was totally out of place, and even if it weren't, it was so simplistic and stupid that it ruined the rest of the mag for me. From that point on, it seemed like the soundtrack was out of sync with the pictures. So I won't read the rest of this letter, but yeah, the guy was really pissed.
Wow.
That's Ira Bolterman from Brooklyn, New York, by the way, folks, if you want to reach out to him and say, hey, fuck Wit.
Yeah.
50 years ago.
Yeah.
50 years ago, you did this.
Yeah.
Please
Fuck you, man.
Now.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway, so we heard some stuff.
Yeah, good and bad.
Good and bad. I love how triggered that guy was, though.
Yeah, he was really upset by that, by calling out male chauvinism. Yeah, you're right.
The left are snowflakes, though.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Final thoughts, Jacob.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree more with the first letter writer. I thought this issue was. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Yeah, the story's goofy and some of the dialogue is goofy, but just the combination of Mooney and Shores, it just seemed like they were having so much fun. And it was just like two old war horses that have just done this for, I don't know, 30 some years at this point. And this is them finally, I see them, it's just them finally getting together and actually being able to work on something together and having a blast doing it. I liked the art on this issue so much more than I did last issue. This was a relief. I was really glad we didn't have 2 issues of just kind of okay art.
You're being charitable with kind of OKR because, I mean, I would have, if this had been 2 issues of what we saw last issue, I would have said it was Trimpy diarrhea. So,
yes.
And it's not that anybody wasn't trying. It was that it was not a good match.
No, and we get Trimpy.
I know we do. I know.
Okay. He's coming.
I don't hate Trimpy. I have, he's like Coletta to me, like in his consistency, like where it's like, sometimes he's great. Most of the time he's fine. And sometimes I'm looking at him like, I could do better.
Yeah.
Just saying a lot.
No, that's a really good description of I think how most people feel.
And I'm saying like the middle 70% is fine to solid.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah. I shit on him a lot because when he sucks, he blows, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does.
And he gets a lot of love, and he's been attached to some huge keystone issues. So,
yep.
Yeah. Me?
Yeah.
I think I liked it a little bit less than you did. I absolutely love the art. I read it 3 times and enjoyed it more each time. The story itself was super thin. Not much happened. It felt like it was a 1 and 2 were a pilot cut in half. So as a standalone issue, it was pretty weak, but art-wise and the fact that we got to see those 2 together was great. So I had a joy reading it. I read it 3 times. So yeah, it just was kind of flimsy narratively.
Yes, yeah.
Graphically, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, graphically, it really was gorgeous. But yeah, no, I totally understand. It was narratively pretty thin. But yeah, after this, we're going to be in Marvel Spotlight territory for like 12 issues.
Yep.
And it's a big change. And we're finally going to get the reveal of Son of Satan and leave Ghost Rider behind.
Yeah. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this or just your feedback in general on anything. You can call us at our voicemail, which is 971-220-5865. That's 971-220-JUNK. Leave a voicemail. Let us know what you're thinking. We'd love to hear it. Yeah, I realized when I was editing last issue, the episode, I was thinking I forgot what it was, but I was I feel like there's some stuff that we could have been factually called out on, in some assumptions we made, but I'm forgetting what it was now. But yeah, if you just see something that you don't agree with straight out that we're calling out, those weren't swastika, those were reversed, those were actually the Indian source that means peace between the four elements, or whatever. Let us know. Jacob screws up all the time.
I do all the time.
No, I'm actually the guy that makes the fuck ups all the time. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you, as with Jacob. Here's a voicemail from our friend Russ about last issue.
Hello, Bronze Age monsters. This is Russ from Tomes of Evil, sending in some feedback for your first episode here, Ghost Rider number 1, the introduction of the Son of Satan. I expected this to be a story in progress type thing because obviously this is the beginning of Damien's story and not the beginning of Johnny Blaze's story. So I'm glad that we got the recap. I'll just give a few highlights here. Why is everyone in this book such a bastard? So you got the guy who's trying to smooth up on Roxanne, and he's secretly planning to steal her and the show from Johnny. So he's a bastard. And then, of course, you got the cops, who are the typical cops in that they shoot first and ask questions later. What a fucking dick to shoot someone and then come to the hospital room and it's I shot him, but I hope he survives. Fuck you, you dick. What the fuck? That got me good. And then I didn't have Ghost Rider taking a taxi on my bingo card for 2023, but there we go. That was great. You have all this, occult, Satanism, possessions. Ghost Rider's got to take a taxi. Anyway, it was good Bronze Age fun, and I think I will remember Johnny taking that taxi for a long time. Great art by the impeccable Tom Sutton. Loved that transformation scene in the hospital bed, but I felt like it needed a little bit more. It was kind of more like a flashlight and less like a Jack Russell type transformation. Still cool though. Well, that's all I got, gents. So can't wait to hear some more.
So for our bonus show this week, we are going to be talking about the 1981 film Fear No Evil, which we both watched, and we're gonna have a lot to say about that. And this is something that you can get if you are a patron of ours. If you subscribe at even just at the $3 level, you will get the show, the video version of the show that Matt lovingly edits every week. Mm-hmm. And you can also be like some of these other patrons who subscribe at the $5 and above level. And if you're at the $5 above level, you get some shout outs. So that's people like Ryan from Across the Bifrost.
And Tim Tucker.
Brian from Marvel by the Month.
Blake, last name withheld.
Caleb.
David Goodwin, new member. Thank you for joining us, David. Or joining us at the Pack Brother level.
Yes. Ben M.
Michelle from Moonlight Comics. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Letty.
Jeff Fitzpatrick. Welcome back.
Russ from Tomes of Evil.
Brad Elmore. Hi, Braddy.
Tony Iupi.
Jason Feinstone.
Jared C.
Brink Bunny.
Bill from Long Island.
David D.
And MJ, or some British cult.
Yes. And we have another tier of folks that support us at an exceptional level of $10 or above, which is folks like Michael Giacchino,
Josh Link,
Jackson T. Overstreet,
Mark Nivens,
and Eric Hadley. Those folks are called Star Gods. In addition to all the other stuff that people get, they also get some exclusive stuff that is even rarer, and t-shirts after 6 months of being at that level in the shop. Please check out our Threadless shop. We've got some great stuff in there. We had a logo designed by a Canadian artist who is amazing, and I nicked a man-wolf design. Yeah, it's amazing. We've been selling some shirts. People love them, and I love them.
Yeah, people like the shirts. I love that.
Yeah, me too. So next week, we will be talking about Marvel Spotlight number 12, which is Damon Hellstrom's first proper appearance with lights on in the shack, apparently. You can see him. I did love that setup, by the way, this last panel of the off panel. No!
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
It's a great setup. So, yeah, you folks who are Patreon members, join us on the bonus show. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next week. We don't have a sign-off yet, so
That's the Lord's Prayer.
goodbye.
We're going to get on that. Or we can take suggestions,
Maybe
too.
the devil's balls dry with talcum powder before you know you're born to raise hell.
Okay,
Those are
that's
words.
something. We can workshop that.
I don't know.
All right, bye.
Bye.
That's the Lord's Prayer backwards.